everyone, welcome to another video. So I asked you guys questions on Facebook and Tumblr and Twitter, just any question that you had, so yeah. So on my Facebook it says I have 51 questions, and obviously I'm not going to be able to answer all of those, and I'm like, in fact, genuinely very surprised. And also I'm kind of in a hurry, so I'm just going to save all these questions for another Q&A. Okay, so the first question is a really quick one. What is your Myers-Briggs type? My Myers-Briggs type is INFJ. I was planning on making a video about that at some point. Oh yeah, that's from Marissa, I guess. And the next question, would you rather eat Taco Bell every day for the rest of your life, or work at Taco Bell every day the rest of your life? AKA, what would be worse? I would... That is the weirdest question, because obviously I would rather eat Taco Bell every day, because Taco Bell has a vegan option, which is bean burritos. Just make sure you don't get cheese on it or sour cream or anything. So I always get bean burrito, no cheese, sour cream, and there's a vegan option for you. I think it's a vegan option. I hope they don't put anything bad in the tortilla shell, or the whatever it's called, tortilla wrap. And Mexican food is like my favorite food, so even though it's Taco Bell, it's still a bean burrito, so I'm okay with it. Okay, and then the next question is from the same person, Dallin, and they asked, what is your earliest memory? My earliest memory is when I was, I don't remember how old I was, probably like 2 years old, 3, and I was left at school on a non-school day, so my dad dropped me off at school, and then he drove off, and it turns out the doors were locked and there was not school that day, so I had to sit outside all day in the cold winter on the porch of that school not knowing what was wrong, and I thought that they had just locked me out because I was bad in some way, so that probably traumatized me as a young child. I could talk about that later. That's actually a good idea for a video, my earliest memory, and I'll talk about that before, but abandonment is my earliest memory. Okay, I'm so depressing. Next question, I'm going to go to a different person. So this is from Chris, and he says, we've heard you talk about your manic episodes that resulted in hospitalization, but have you ever had severe depressive episodes? If so, which one is scarier to you, severe mania or depression? I have had really bad depressed episodes, which, I don't know. I think if you have bipolar type 2, then depression is probably the worst thing that you deal with, in my opinion. But if you have bipolar type 1, then mania, in my opinion, is worse, because you completely lose your mind. At least I do. I have psychotic features with my mania. So I think mania is scarier for me, because I don't like the fact that you just completely lose your mind. I have talked about depression in some of my videos, so I think if you go to my channel page, there'll be something there. And if you guys want me to, I'll talk about depression more, because it's such a happy subject and everything. Next question is from Andrew. How are you, and I'm sorry if I'm not very thorough answering these, but I'm just trying to like hurry. Not anything against anyone's question, I'm just trying to go fast. Next question is from Andrew. How are you doing since going off the meds? I recently went off my meds too. Actually, have not gone off the meds. When I made that video, I was in the process of like weaning off. I was still taking 150 milligrams a day, so I wasn't off meds then, and then I made a video after that saying that I was staying on medication for the time being, because I mainly got off of it because of thinning hair issues, and because I don't want to have a baby with a birth defect, but since I'm not, I don't know. But then I went to a psychiatrist, and also I didn't feel like getting a new psychiatrist anyways. Then I read the comments and everyone was freaking out, and so, you know, telling me that it was a bad idea, so I was like, okay, maybe this is a bad idea. So I went to a psychiatrist and we talked about it, and I'm going to be staying on it until I actually want to get pregnant, and then I'll wean off of it, and then I'll stay off of it for the first trimester, because that's the most dangerous time. Anyway, go watch that video. It was like my life update video, and I will talk about that in that video. So I'm not off meds. I'm still taking a much lower dose, which I really like. You know, I feel like once you get to a certain point, you might be able to take a lower dose, but not so low that it's not doing anything. Next question is from Loey. I don't know if I pronounced that right. But they asked, how do you keep composure in your videos? That is so flattering that you say I keep composure in my videos, because I don't know if I do keep composure in my videos. Sometimes in my videos I act really silly and I get really nervous, like constantly messing with my hair and just, yeah. So if it seems like I keep composure, then that's a really big compliment because I do not feel like I do. By the way, this is a really bad camera angle. I'm like looking up into the camera. So I'm sorry about this camera angle, but it's how it's gonna have to be for this video. If you think I'm keeping composure, then that's awesome, but I don't know how I keep composure. I just kind of do it. And there you go. Next question's from Sean. Which would you choose, dealing with extreme social anxiety on a daily basis or a manic episode that's guaranteed to happen once a month? Well, I don't know. I think dealing with extreme social anxiety on a daily basis, because I've dealt with that, but having a major manic episode once a month, that would just make it so that you cannot have a life outside of a hospital. I mean, kind of. I think that, you know, they're both very debilitating, but at least with social anxiety, you still have your brain with you. You just can't go outside of your house. But, you know, when you're in your house, when you're alone, you still have all of your mental faculties. So as long as you can, you know, figure out how to do everything, you know, alone and all that stuff, then you're better off than losing your mind every month. Or like, yeah, just completely going manic every month. That would make your life a complete and total mess. But with social anxiety, at least you still have all of your, you know, wits about you. It's just you are anxious around people. So I think I would rather have debilitating social anxiety any day of the week. So if you have social anxiety but not bipolar disorder, then you should be thankful. They're both very, very debilitating, you know, disabilities, but I would prefer the social anxiety over bipolar, personally. And I have dealt with both, so it's not like I'm just saying this without any personal experience. I'm saying this from experience. Okay, next question is from Ryan. When you were younger, did you ever feel different than others mentally or think there was ever anything wrong, or did you just think you were a normal kid? I always felt out of place around my peers. Really, I think that's probably where I run into problems, is that I think that I'm different than everyone, which probably is something that, you know, you need therapy for, to, you know, someone to tell you like, no, you're, you know, a unique snowflake and there's nothing wrong about being a unique snowflake, instead of having the attitude like, oh my god, I'm not exactly like these people and these people don't accept me as exactly like them, so, you know, that must mean there's something wrong with me. But yeah, I definitely did not think I was a normal kid. Yeah, that's the best answer. No, I did not think I was a normal kid. I always felt really out of place and like I didn't fit in and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go over to Twitter. Alright, Casey asks, what keeps you going, motivates you, and inspires you? I just really enjoy the small things in life. I really relish in the small things. So there doesn't have to be anything miraculous. Like, I think some people need like action-packed, magical, like excitement constantly. But I take enjoyment in the small things, like, you know, like the feeling of water down your throat, you know? Like the feeling of water going down your throat, and, you know, feeling lucky that I have clean water to drink, because a lot of people don't. And then, you know, blankets that are really soft, like, you know, so, you know, and then cute animals, pictures of cute animals, and music inspires me a lot. Other people on YouTube inspire me a lot. Movies inspire me. And I also like, you know, art. So anything I find aesthetically pleasing, I think that's a really big thing that keeps me going and inspires me. So I feel like if you are struggling with not being able to keep going, I just think it's something that you have to cultivate about yourself, is to really, really appreciate everything around you and know that any type of rut that you're in is so incredibly temporary. Like, good things are temporary and bad things are just as temporary. Yeah, I'm inspired by the small things in life. So, you know, the taste of food, music, birds chirping, and I know when you're depressed you have no appreciation or inspiration for any of those things, but that's why, you know, that's temporary. So I get my inspiration from, you know, books, you know, movies, television, art, you know, music and fashion and beauty and soft things and cute animals. Such a cheesy answer, but it's true. Okay. And also, is it more expensive to be a vegan? I really don't think it is more expensive to be a vegan because meat is expensive. Like, you go to the store and like fish is like 10 bucks, steak is 10 bucks or 15 bucks, I don't know. But, you know, chicken, they're all expensive. Besides like fast food meat. But if you're, you know, buying like premium, whatever it is, then that's expensive. Premium meat, that's expensive. And also entrees at restaurants, the vegan entrees are usually the cheapest. So you get like, you know, a steak and it'll be like 20 bucks, but then the vegan meal will be like $6. So I think being a vegan is cheaper. And also if you buy a bunch of produce at the store, they're going to ring all of that up and it's going to be like, you know, $20 for a shit ton of food right there. So, you know, produce is cheaper than packaged stuff, and, you know, and when you go out to eat, the vegan entrees are cheaper. So I think it's probably cheaper to be a vegan, honestly, unless you're just buying a lot of specialty products. But if you buy in bulk, like buy a bulk thing of rice, bulk thing of beans, I know that's like stereotypical vegan food, and then produce, and yeah, it's probably cheaper to be a vegan, honestly. I don't know why people think it's more expensive. It's either cheaper or the same price, depending on what you buy, really. And the next question is from Jacob. If you could bring someone from history back to life and speak with them, who would it be? Wow, that is a hard question because there are so many people who I would like to bring back. I'm gonna say, that's really tough. Like I would say John Lennon. You know, that's like a really good person. Also George Harrison, you know, because he's dead too. Probably George Harrison, honestly, or John Lennon. Or, you know, I'd like to bring back George Harrison and John Lennon. And also Heath Ledger, because I feel like he died too soon. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, that would be interesting. That's a really good question, so please leave a comment below answering that question. I think that would be awesome, because there are so many people who would be awesome to have a conversation with. You guys tell me which historical figure you would bring back to life. That would be really interesting. Okay, next one is from Tweak, is their username. Question, how is life since tapering off your meds? Is your life different for the better or worse? Once again, I'm not completely off my meds at this time. I'm still on 150 milligrams, which yes is less. And I'd say it's been better. I would, one, say not that different, and two, say better, if anything, because I feel like my hair isn't as thin as it was, and also I feel like I have more spark, you know, like I have more spark. How do you relax when you're stressed out? What do you do when you cannot sleep? Thank you. So when I'm stressed out, my cat's playing with the toys, if you hear a weird noise. When I'm stressed out, I usually, the best thing to do is drink some tea and take a bath. So I will take a bath, nice warm bath, try to have some sort of bath bomb or bubble bath or bath oil, some type, or like scent, so a candle. So any sort of like spa treatment you can give yourself is like really good at stress relief. So, you know, drink some soothing tea and take a bath, or shower if you prefer showers. And that's a really good way to just reset your batteries and calm down. And that's just one method, but that's my go-to method usually. Also hot chocolate or just eating chocolate in general can sometimes help. What I do when I can't sleep is, it's a really good method. You just lay on your back and you take really deep breaths and you breathe in for 4 counts and out for 6 counts. So, and then you like keep increasing it. So breathe in for 5 and out for 8. I don't know. You breathe out longer than you breathe in. So you just count your breath in and then count your breath out. So for example, you breathe in for 5 counts, breathe out for 8 counts. So yeah, so breathe in for 5 counts, breathe out for 8 counts, or some sort of whatever you're comfortable, whatever your lungs are comfortable with, and then that will really help to make you drift off to sleep. So yeah, taking really deep breaths and just counting your breath, And then also taking melatonin, has to be a really good melatonin supplement. It works really well. Alright, now I'm going to go over to Tumblr. Okay, question is from G15 Papa November. It says, do you plan on living in Georgia permanently, or is there somewhere else you'd like to go one day? I definitely would like to go other places. I mean, I really want to travel. I really want to travel. Just I haven't been able to do that yet. And then I also would like to live other places, so I feel like my maximum tolerance for any one location is 2 years, unless I really like the place, I'm guessing. So after I lived 2 years in Savannah, I was ready to move. Probably after I don't know after I lived 2 years in Atlanta, but probably after I lived 2 years in this specific area of Atlanta that I'll want to move, and any one apartment, just 2 years. So I do want to live other places, especially on the West Coast. I just want to experience it. There's a very particular vibe about the South. So, it's like the dirty South, and it's kind of more rugged here. But everything on the West Coast is a little more happy. I don't know. It's a little more everyone's, I don't know, it just seems more happy there somehow. I don't know. It's a little bit more grungy here, I guess. I'd like to live on the West Coast where seems kind of nice over there, and that's pretty much it, besides other countries. So I'd like to live on a tropical island, so I'd like to live in Hawaii or the West Coast or the Caribbean, Virgin Islands, or in another country, anywhere in Europe or Japan. I don't know if I'd like to live in those places, but I definitely want to visit them. So yeah, definitely, and a person who wants to move around. Alright, this is from Corp Z Wolf. They said, have you ever heard of cyclothymia ever resulting in a full bipolar 1 or 2 disorder? I don't think any one illness results in another illness. They're two separate illnesses as far as I know. I think cyclothymia is a certain disorder and bipolar is a certain disorder, so you either have one or the other. So, I mean, if you are diagnosed with cyclothymia, but then you start having bipolar symptoms, I don't think it's because your cyclothymia turned into bipolar. I think it's just that you had bipolar, but they misdiagnosed you as having cyclothymia, because that's probably very easy for people to do because there are a lot of overlap in the symptoms. So as far as I know, the cyclothymia doesn't result in bipolar. You just either have bipolar and then you were misdiagnosed with cyclothymia, or not. Alright, I'm going to go back to the Facebook questions. Alright, next one is from Matt. Do you like sports? If so, which ones? I answered this in my boyfriend tag video, actually, sort of. I do like sports. I don't really watch sports that much, except for during the Olympics and if someone else is watching it. But I really like basketball, and I really like softball or baseball. And I played softball when I was in middle school or elementary school. I also like tennis and volleyball. I don't know. I like sports. I don't really play them anymore. I like watching them, and I think, yeah. Oh, I don't like football. That's the only sport that I know for sure that I don't like. I definitely do not like football. I don't like the culture around it. I just don't like the whole culture around football. It's just, I just don't like it at all. It's very just barbaric to me, and I don't think the game is fun to watch at all. No offense to any football players out there, just my personal taste is I don't like football. And I don't mean soccer. I mean American football. I don't like American football. I like soccer. Next one is from Sean. Do you have any strange childhood memories that perhaps relate to your disorder? Not really, because I didn't develop bipolar until I was in early adulthood. Most people don't develop bipolar until they're in early adulthood, and that was the case with me. So I don't really have any weird childhood memories that have to do with my disorder. As far as bipolar disorder, but as far as social anxiety disorder, I definitely have a lot of, I wouldn't say strange childhood memories, but I mean, I have memories where I was, kind of bullied, I guess you could say. So I have memories of being bullied, and and just feeling really out of place and awkward growing up. But I don't really feel like I have any particularly strange memories, but I think I'll make a video about weird memories later. Next one is from Jack, and I'm probably gonna wrap this up soon. You try to help so many people with bipolar disorder. Do people ever burn you out with all their problems? That's a marvelous question, Jack. Thank you for asking that. Yes, people do burn me out with their problems. And I feel so bad because I want to help everyone, but when people start sending me their personal issues, it can get a little much to the point where I almost get mean about it. And I don't want to be, like, I try and be nice about it, but I just, because I know people, like, you know, don't know any better. They, like, see me on the internet, they're like, oh, she seems like she'd be nice to talk to or something, whatever. But I can only deal with so much because just making these videos is emotionally draining. Believe it or not, like, talking about this stuff is emotionally draining. So just the act of filming these videos and then going back and editing these videos is emotionally draining in itself. But then also having people send me their personal problems, their own personal issues, and, you know, either messaging me or emailing me even, which my email address is for business inquiries only. So people will be emailing me and messaging me, and I understand, like, that you need someone to talk to, like, I fully understand. And then I feel like an asshole because I'm just like, go get therapy and all this stuff. But honestly, I can't help everyone, and I don't get paid to help anyone. And there are only so many hours of the day, and yeah, when I'm not making these videos or working on other things that I have to do, you know, yeah, I mean, your counselor gets paid to help you, and, you know, hopefully if you don't have a counselor, then hopefully there's someone else in your life who actually knows you, who could help you a lot more than I could. So, you know, a church member if you go to church, or a parent, or, you know, a family member, or a sibling, or a friend. I feel like those are the people you should go to before you go to a stranger on the internet. Because, yeah, you know me from my videos, but essentially I'm just a stranger, and even more importantly, you're a stranger to me. And sometimes I don't know if people have, like, ulterior motives, so someone might be, like, you know, seemingly innocently asking me for help, but I don't know if you're just someone who is, like, trying to get in my pants or have some sort of other ulterior motive, not necessarily getting in my pants, but trying to flirt with me or something under the guise of needing personal counsel. So it just kind of makes me be like, no, talk to a counselor. Even if, you know, I'm sure you're a great person and all this stuff, I can't help every individual person on the internet. And yes, I do get a lot of people asking me for help. So just keep that in mind before you message me asking for help, because, you know, what you should do is ask help when I do a Q&A, or when you message me, ask for me to do it in a video. Because if I address your problem in a video, I can, with the video, help, you know, hundreds of people instead of just you. So if you message me wanting help, say, like, you don't have to type out a response, just, this is my problem, please address it in a video, then I'm much more likely to respond to it in a video, you know, as for respond to your problem in a video, because that's kind of more economical with my time or something. It's more respectful of my time, and it'll get more done, if you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so I really have to go soon, so I'm going to answer one more question. I will probably film more tomorrow, so stay tuned for a part 2. There are way too many questions for me to just not answer them, so I will answer them in a part 2. Okay, so last question. It's from Jordan. He asks, when did you very first notice voices, and what was your reaction? I didn't hear anything until I was nearly 20, and my mate Wayne shared his belief with me that we're all telepathic. Now I'm schizo. I first started hearing voices when I was 21. You said you were nearly 20. I was 21, and either 20 or 21, so on the same page there. And we're not all telepathic. I don't agree that we're all telepathic. I think we were hearing voices because of a brain chemistry issue. I think it's pretty normal to not start having symptoms of schizophrenia or bipolar until you're a little bit older. as far as I know. I think that's pretty normal. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And more importantly, thank you so much for sending questions. I'm always nervous that Noah's going to send questions, but I've got a lot of questions. If I did not answer your question in this video, I might in my next video or in a future video. So I want to give a shout out to Casey, Greg, Leonards, Patrick, Orion, Tyler, Kevin, and John. And if you want to get a shout out in a video, not in every single video, but whenever I remember, then you can go donate $10. You can cancel at any time. You can do one-time donation if you would like. Or if you want to get your name listed at the end of the video, either here or here, then donate $5. Or you can donate only $1, which is also extremely helpful. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful in some way. And thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye!